Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk. So the international window has come and passed and we now return to club football this weekend. Here in England it is the semi-finals of the Women's FA Cup. We have Manchester United versus Brighton and Aston and Aston Villa versus Chelsea to look forward to this weekend. So let's dive into the games. So Manchester United will be appearing in their first ever FA Cup semi-final this time, and Mark Skinner's side have been absolutely fantastic in the league and in the FA Cup this season. They sit on top of the WSL table, as you will all know, and before the international break they did face off against Brighton and Hove Albion in the league, winning 4-0 with goals from Lucia Garcia, Rachel Williams and a brace from Leah Goulton. Now on the Brighton and Hove Albion side, it's again changed at the managerial front, as Amy Merrick has returned to assistant manager and they have brought in Melissa Phillips, formerly of London City Lionesses in the Championship. So it's going to be interesting to see what tactics and stuff Phillips is able to conjure up this weekend, and then for the remaining games of this WSL season, can she get Brighton out of that relegation zone and into the survival front? On Manchester United, obviously they know they are going to be the stronger side and more capable, like I said, they only played against Brighton before the international break and won that 4-0. The main thing they'll be just hoping is that they can get off on the strong foot as possible and not be having to wait on for a second half charge from their forward players to get a strong footing into it and potentially reach their first ever semi-final. Brighton, on the other hand, will know that they will go into this underdogs, but United do have to be wary of the threat that they have. I mean, we saw it in the game against Manchester United pre to the international break, how well Katie Robinson was doing on the wing for Brighton and Hove Albion, and whether she can cause some more problems and the balls forward towards whether it be Danielle Carter or Viatia Kirisari or Lee Gwyn Min in the final third. Can Brighton put on the pressure against Manchester United? Will be very interesting to see in that one. Then the other semi-final is Chelsea versus Aston Villa at the Bescott Stadium, and again these two sides met just before the international break, with Chelsea running out 3-0 winners in a more comfortable game for Emma Hayes' side. In the FA Cup this season, Chelsea have already beaten Liverpool, Arsenal and Reading, whilst Aston Villa have managed to beat AFC, Fylde, Manchester City and West Ham United in this season's competition. So Carla Ward sides definitely are one of the best teams in the WSL this season, being the best of the rest. So Chelsea will know that it's not going to be an easy ride for them. However, Emma Hayes' side should still be considered strong favourites heading into this one. So it's going to be a fantastic set of games and can't wait to see who makes the final later on in May. So some of the leagues are back in league action this weekend, whilst others are in cup action, and in Germany we have a mixture of the both. So we have 2 games in the league and the rest or the 2 others are in the DFB Pokal Frauen, and we'll go over to Germany first and talking about them because it is the semi-final and the big one to look forward to on Saturday, as Bayern Munich take on VfL Wolfsburg, 2 top sides in Germany. Obviously they're battling it out for the title, with Bayern Munich having that slight edge at the minute, and it's going to be interesting to see what Alexandra Strauss' side can do going forward, and can they knock out Bayern Munich, Wolfsburg and get through to the final. Obviously Tommy Stru's side aren't going to make it easy for them, and it's going to be a very fantastic battle, and I'm very much looking forward to that one. The other semi-final sees RB Leipzig taking on SC Freiburg. Freiburg are going to be the favourites with this one, and it's going to be hard to try and rule them out of it. Obviously Riola Jamali being their key player in that team, and over the international break it was announced that she will be leaving Freiburg at the end of this season and heading over to Wolfsburg next season. So that's a good bit of business there for Wolfsburg heading into the league now, and we do have a couple of games this weekend. In the Frauen Bundesliga, you got SGS Essen versus Bayer Leverkusen, and then Duisburg versus Eintracht Frankfurt on Sunday. They are just some catch-up games from previous that have been missed out. Over in the Spanish league now, and Barcelona, they play host to Atletico Madrid on Saturday afternoon, and Barcelona obviously will be hoping to continue their unbeaten stretch this season and continue to dominate the Spanish football as they have done. Obviously there's been a lot of transfer rumours about Ada Hegerberg potentially joining Barcelona from Lyon from what I've seen, they've had 2 bids rejected, and it remains to be seen whether they do go in for Hagerberg again. She does have a contract until 2024, so maybe they wait an extra year and get her on at free. One bit of news though for Barcelona was they announced that Bruno Filamala has signed a new deal to remain at the club until 2026. Elsewhere in Spain this weekend, we have Real Madrid travelling to Real Betis on Sunday and Levante playing host to Villarreal on Saturday. Over in the Netherlands, and it is the KNVB Beker semi-finals, so we have Den Haag versus PSV, and then the young PSV against FC20. So it's going to be very interesting to see, could we have a potential all PSV final of the KNV Beker. It's going to be unlikely, obviously, FC20 being the strongest side in the Netherlands as they have been over the past couple of years, and it will be hard for the youngsters of PSV to try and beat them. Over in Italy this weekend, we have games. So we have Inter Milan versus Roma being the key fixture to look forward to this weekend. It's going to be an absolute fantastic one. Obviously, last time out in the league, Roma had automatically qualified for the Champions League next season, but they are still wanting to get their hands on the league title. Elsewhere, you got Pomigliano versus Como, Parma versus Sampdoria, Juventus versus Fiorentina this weekend. And then finally, over in France this weekend, Lyon, they play host to Paris FC on Sunday, and on Saturday PSG travel to Guingamp. So they are the fixtures that we are looking forward to this weekend. On Monday we'll be back to recap the FA Cup games and all the talking points from the from the world of women's football, and obviously later on next week we'll be previewing the semi-finals of the Champions League, so that is plenty more stuff to come. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss a post of ours, and that you're following us on Twitter and Instagram for all the latest news and stories as and when it happens. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon.